It is known as the hum phenomenon. Do you remember this? Did you ever recall anything about the hum? It's also known as the trumpet phenomenon. Remember those videos you used to see about the trumpets and those weird sounds and that weird like it sounded like either like a train was coming. You would hear like weird frequencies. People would be hearing this, and you would see these strange videos about this. Do you remember this from a few years ago?
Vaguely.
All right, so it was like the best way I could describe it is it sounds like the apocalypse is happening and you are listening to
Right.
trumpets playing. I don't know if you remember this, right? And people were
The
like in
the
the middle.
end times,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's like the end
Yeah.
times, right? And it was very dominant in like 98, 99 because of 2000. It also was very dominant in 2010 because of the Mayan calendar coming to an end. And we were seeing all types of videos. So I had been thinking about it, right? I had been always curious on what it is, right? And without sounding crazy, I have personally never experienced anything like that, like out in the wild or in my city or in the mountains, the humming noise or the trumpet noise or the train. But it is a phenomenon that has been happening since like the 70s and been recorded. So it's a term to describe a mysterious low frequency sound that's been reported by people in various locations around the world. While the source and the nature of the hum remains a subject and a debate to this day specifically, it's never been solved. There's many theories on what causes this, right? So a lot of people think that it's industrial noise that causes this. That's pretty much like machines, factories, ventilation machinery, which it happened in the last time it happened, right? I think that a big city reported it was in somewhere in, I think in Oklahoma, and it was a whole city that was actually saying like, hey, they're hearing the strange frequency. It's at this weird time. It happened for weeks. The community was saying like, what is it? And what ended up being is it being an oil machine that was causing these noises and it was like breaking down, right? And that was like one of the theories that causes it. Another theory causes it that's infrared sound. And it's the waves, and since there's so much noise pollution that it thinks that we are creating it in a sense, that's one of those. And one of them that is interesting is that also could be tendonitis that we're suffering because there's so much sound around us now and in our ears that that's what could be causing
Mm.
this. There's many things, right? Like if you look it up, there's like 25 reasons what causes this, like low frequencies, groundwater flow, geological and seismic activity, military planes. But what is crazy about it is there was a city in New Mexico by the name of Taos that actually experienced this, and it was a super phenomenon because the whole city experienced this. And this happened sometime in the 90s, and they all heard a specific frequency. So what ended up happening is so many scientists and the media, and it blew up, started going and researching it. From the research, what they ended up finding out that only 2 to 4% of people hear this hum, this phenomena that you hear this specific frequency. Um, Oddly enough, I was talking to my fiance about this, and I was like, "Hey, have you ever heard the sound of the city before?" Like, I don't know. And Ryan, have you ever heard of the sound of the city before?
I no, no.
So I guess I am part of this percentage, this 2 to 4%. Like if I go outside or I'm somewhere, I hear like a hum, like a frequency. I can't explain it without sounding crazy. I do hear it, and only a select certain amount of people in the world hear this specific frequency. And it's I think from the ranges of like 60 to like 40 hertz, and it's just something you hear, but not everybody hears. It's like a strange hum or a strange vibration. And I've heard it before. Like it sounds like a train is coming from far away, is the best way I could explain it. Or like I've explained it to people like talking. I was like, yeah, you could hear the city breathing. And someone looked at me like, what are you talking about? And I was like, you guys don't hear that? Like you guys don't hear like this weird like hum or this weird sensation? Like the city's alive? And they're like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. So I think I am one of those people that listen to this phenomenon that's a hum. And there's been many occasions of it. There was an occasion recently, I think it as late as like 2022. And it's been forgotten. No one talks about this anymore. It's just a strange thing. And I think it's like a weird sound or frequency that only certain people in the world listen to. Like like kids too, you hear a certain frequency And as you get older, you
Hmm.
stop hearing it. I think it's something like that. So I don't know if you remember anything like that. And I thought it was interesting. And I had no idea that it actually is something that only 2 to 4% of the world actually is able to hear.
Does cilantro taste like soap to you too?
No,
Is that
bro.
like a thing?
It's nothing like that, but it's something like that. Like, and it's crazy. Like I could go outside and I'll listen to like what sounds like a train is coming, but there's no train is coming. And it just sounds like a weird vibration to me. Like if the city's breathing is the best way I can describe it.
If you go to a forest, do you hear the sound of the forest?
No, I hear this vibration, like this sound, like this
Yeah, no,
hum.
well, that's what I mean. Do you hear it? So if you go to like a forest away from the city,
It's
you'll
like
still hear a distinct
yeah,
hum.
it'll be this thing like as if like I'm so far away from the city, but I can still hear it. Is how I perceive it, like how I hear it. I can't explain it. Not that like each time I explain it to somebody, no one understands what the hell I'm talking about. I sound crazy. I'm not crazy, but
You
yeah.
are crazy, and you sound crazy.
But researching this hum and this thing, I was like, wait a minute, this is something I hear. Like I understand what they're talking about. Like I've experienced this.
Huh?
So yeah, only
I
four to
I've
four.
never heard a hum.
Not everybody does. Only 2 to 4% of the world population listens to it, and maybe that's what we're listening to. Like the people that hear the hum, the hum phenomena. I was over here thinking that it was like aliens and stuff, but no, it's a frequency that not everybody can hear.
Are you sure it's just not your ears are bad,
Build up wax build up as a kid, but
and you
I
only hear what you want to hear out of the other ear? Is that
maybe.
it?
But it's just like, as you were saying, this is like forgotten stuff. No one talks about this. If it's not on the media, if it's
Yeah.
not popular, it gets forgotten, I think. And I think this is one of those things like it was everywhere. You would see these videos about it everywhere. People recording like Ukraine, the trumpets of God are sounding and the end times are here. And that's what it was. And people would record these strange phenomena. And they would say, like, no, it's ducking. It's a weird barometer, atmospheric pressures changing. But no, it was just a hum people would listen to and hear. And obviously the internet would add more to it, but it like died. And these cities that this happens, like, they're it's not reported as much. Now they're sporadic. And
Mhm.
as you said earlier, they mentioned the Men in Black, that things like this. That's like what is now happening that in like 15, 10 years from now is going to get forgotten. Everyone's talking about it. Like what's next is I guess where I'm going with the story.
It's got to be cilantro. It's got to be.
It tastes
You
like
know,
soap. Cilantro tastes delicious
it'll.
to me, by the way. I love it with tacos.
Oh, I love it too. I can't imagine
Imagine like soap. God, that's awful. I'd rather
tasting
hear
like
this
soap.
hub than have cilantro taste like soap.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry I didn't
I mean,
present.
there's other things like lactose intolerance, right? Like that's another one that
I'm not lactose intolerant. I can't eat mangoes and kiwi. I'm allergic to them. It shuts up my.
you're allergic to
Yeah,
mangoes and kiwis.
yeah. Like I didn't understand that. Like when I would eat this stuff, it would make my throat like a sore throat. Until I mentioned it to somebody, I was like, "Yeah, I get a sore throat every single time I eat one of them." They're like, "You're allergic to it, then, bro." I was like, "What?" So anything that has like fibers in it, like hair fibers and stuff like that, I can't eat. I'm allergic to it. It causes me to have like a horrible sore throat. I love
Wow,
mangoes.
man, that sucks. Can you drink mango juice?
I've tried different variations of it. Like if I want to eat it, like I know, like if I buy a mango today or a kiwi today and I eat it, that day my throat is like done. It feels like I'm getting sick, and I'll wake up the next day like nothing. I'm just allergic to them.
So let me get this straight. You eat a mango, you get a sore throat. You eat a kiwi, you get a sore throat. You go into
Yes.
a city and you hear the trumpets of God.
It's not trumpets of God. It's more like a hum. It's a hum. It's not like
The hum
trumpets.
of God.
Oh, bro. It's like a vibration. If it's I can't explain it. It's like dude, I hear this hum. I'm part of that 4%.
Horrific.
What, the mango part or the hum part?
The hum part. I couldn't live with having a hum all the time.
It's not like it bothers me. Like I don't even pay attention to it, but it's like it's a weird frequency. It's a weird like it's more like a vibration is what it sounds like a low hum is what it sounds like a very like it's like background noise
Okay.
is the
Well,
best I
if
could
you
describe
hear a
it.
hum or you don't hear a hum, you should like and subscribe
Definitely.
to This Week in
comment
Redacted.
comment down below if you guys hear the hum and you're part of the 4%.